Yeah, it's like super keen to have a night with Tyra alone.
Cheers to us. Cheers to the hideaway.
Cheers to us. This was like the last little thing that I reckon completes my little Love Island journey. It's probably the last thing I haven't done yet. So.
The full Love Island experience.
This episode, I feel some type of way. I feel I feel offended. Really, I'm a Gemini, so for this psychic woman to say what she said about Reed, first of all, how is Reed a Gemini? Make that make sense. We don't behave the way Reed has been behaving, like a bedbug from bed to bed to bed to bed. Anyway, and also, when Nate and Georgia were in the hideaway, we all heard their noises in surround sound. It was so loud. It was as though and yet when Tyra went into the hideaway, we didn't hear anything. When Zach and Lucinda went to the hideaway, we didn't hear anything. When Zach and Lucinda got busy in the bedroom, we didn't hear anything. But we had to hear Nate and Georgia. Why would they embarrass them and not everybody else? I don't like that. I am very offended because this is my only other favorite couple left in the villa. But anyway, I digress. Hey there. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's Valerie. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 5, Episode 26. The villa seems different without Nakia. I will miss Nakia. I loved her personality. The fact that she said what she said and she stood by it. And, you know, she was cutthroat at times and some people found it a bit harsh, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway, the island is sort of going to their couples because everybody's now in a romantic couple and they're sort of having conversations on the speeches at the fire pit. And so it's cute to see, everybody sort of appreciating their partner's speech and how romantic it was. And, you have Tyra and Kale sort of talking about their speech and how Tyra loved it. I love it for them. I really hope they do something about their, romantic connection. But hey, it is what it is. You have Sav and Clint. Something is I don't know what it is. Something is just not right with Sav and Clint, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether they're really that head over heels that, they're smitten. I like the fact that, Clint seems to have changed Sav without trying to be the best version of herself. That I like, but otherwise, I don't know. I really don't know. You have, Georgia appreciating Nate. I think Nate had the best speech, followed by Clint. And that was sweet. It was nice to see that they really appreciate each other. I think the transition is what's going to be difficult because of the fact that when they leave the villa, will they be able to keep up with what they sort of wanted for one another in regards when they wanted to see each other and how they're going to do that and how they're going to also keep up with the rest of their, activities in their lives. I don't know. We'll see. You have Reed and Chloe. I personally don't see why Chloe is still with Reed. After the threesome thingy, I think the only reason she's with Reed is because she wants to stay in the villa. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it because there's nothing that would make me stay with someone who has had more than 5 threesomes and still think that he's going to be loyal to me. When he's bored, he's going to go looking for his 1 and 2 buddies. That's just my opinion. You then have the performers, Zach and Lucinda. So Zach is trying to justify his very poor speech. The fact that he said, oh, I get shy when there's people there. So, okay, I'll do it for you. And he gives her this, ooey gooey speech. I don't know who helped him prepare that. But hey, it is what it is. The islanders go to bed and everyone is making out in bed because they're in a romantic couple, which is amazing. And then Reed in the middle of the night, I don't know whether he was joking or whether he was sleep talking, the funny whale sounds he was making. But hey, it is what it is. You never know. I wouldn't want to sleep with someone like that because the slightest noise will wake me up. And once I'm awake, it's difficult to go back to sleep. So, would bet war. That's why I would never go on Love Island. One thing I have to give the producers is that this season, there's definitely been no debriefs, which I really love. I think a lot of people must have complained about that, so they took them out. Anyway, in the morning, people talk about, Reed and his noises that he was making in the night. That was strange and that was scary, but hey, it is what it is. Chloe seems to like it, so hey, good for her. Anyway, the girls are sort of sitting and admiring the boys working out. And I don't think I've seen Tyra work out all the time she's been in the villa. She's got amazing, amazing, amazing metabolism because, oh my God. Anyway, so then they receive a text. Sav receives a text to say, you know, their eggs in their baskets, and they run and they see they've got these sort of ostrich-sized eggs that they're going to look after as a baby. I think it's a good idea. I would have preferred a doll, but I think it's a good idea because it shows how patient and how caring someone is. Because if you're not, you're going to break the egg. But then it's quite a thick egg, so it's going to take a lot for them to crack it. I wish they had given them proper eggs. Anyway, I'm a bit mean. And it's cute to see everybody sort of design their baby into who they think represents them. Nate has, you know, these little braids on his child, and I don't know, and a grill, and it's just like, please, why? But hey, it is what it is. Tyra and Kale, they have tattoos on their baby, and it's okay. Sav and Clint are really taking this baby thing very seriously. Reed, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's paying attention. At first, the boys weren't keen because they didn't go in to look at the dolls, but then they sort of pay attention. And I think everybody's really fully participating, even Zach, which is surprising. I think because his sidekick is not there, so he has to focus and pay attention to what's happening. And apparently there's going to be a sidekick, so that's going to be something interesting to watch. So you have Tyra and Kale having a conversation. Obviously, everybody's sitting with their egg. And they're sort of discussing, I think this is a very important topic for people, especially once you reach a certain age. You need to ask each other, do you want children? Because it seems there are people out there that don't want children. And if you want children, then it needs to be an either yes or no before you get very seriously involved. And I think Kale evaded the question because he said, yeah, he's always wanted two. He's happy. He could be happy with one, but he doesn't want a child at the moment. And this confessional, he says, we're not on the same page. And it's like, don't let her fall more madly in love with you. And then you turn around and say you don't want children. Because you can see it on Tyra that she really wants children. She said she wants children. The least you could do is tell her, well, I am open to the idea of discussing children, but at the moment, I don't want any children. So that she knows where she stands with you and she doesn't sort of start planning a life with you, thinking you're going to, at this stage of your lives, you're going to have children. At that stage of your lives, you're going to do ABC. When you are not ready for that. So I felt like that wasn't right. I think he should have told her, but maybe they'll have the conversation once they leave the villa. They did talk about the fact that Tyra apparently likes to swear. I didn't know that. Looking at her, you wouldn't believe that. You wouldn't think she likes to swear, but hey, it is what it is. So that was cute to see. You have Sav and Clint. Sav and Clint, the producers, are really working overtime to really redefine them as a couple, to really make them this version that they feel the viewers will like. And it's like, why are we being sold this image of, you know, this happy, loving couple? I think now Clint has realized that, you know, or he's seen some of Sav's quirky traits, the ones that, you know, put a lot of the guys off her. And because you were saying, oh, you know, that child, you know, they won't have a dull moment in their life. They'll always be happy. It will always, you know, and it's like, just tell the truth. That you know that, you know, Sav is wild, so she's going to go wild as a parent, and you just feel sorry for the child. I don't think so. I think because Sav has got to experience a lot of things, she will know what's good and what's bad, and so she'll be able to parent a child accordingly and make sure she helps them and avoid making some of the decisions that she made, or some of the bad decisions that she made. And then you have Nate and his egg. He goes to the fire pit and has this sort of little mini workout, and it's like, Nate, why? Who sent you there? Who for? And I don't even know where Jojo was. He's giving his child this dumbbell. He's telling them, you know, who's the most important person in your life. You need to treat the ladies very well, like I do. You need to be respectful. And it's like, it was cute, but it was very, I don't know. I can see him doing it with his own child, so I can't say no to that. Anyway, they receive a message to say that there will be a psychic coming into the villa. And the fact that Zach had the audacity to shout, I don't like psychics. And it's like, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. You don't need to say that. If you don't like them, that's fine. Keep that to yourself. You don't need to sort of shout, because the psychic is going to see this. And how do you think she'll feel? Hey? But hey, it is what it is. And then you have, you know, Lucinda with her performance. Oh, I love psychics. It just reminded me of I like magicians. You love everything, don't you? when do you genuinely like something? It seems everything is performative. Her relationship with Zach, her like for magicians, her like for psychics. What's next? We don't know. So Psychic Sarah sits down with the individual couples and sort of gives them a reading. And obviously, I think because of how excited Lucinda was, the producers decide to let her go first. And it's like, why are we being told this? I don't want to be a Zach, but the fact that, oh, you're very hardworking, and if you put your mind to it, you can earn a lot of money. Well, everybody can. So please sit down. If everybody were given the right opportunities to sort of, apply their best selves, they can earn a good wage. I don't think that made any sense. Zach, I think they just wanted to tell him that he's a jackass, and we all know that because she said she was trying to look for a polite way to say it, but hey, it is what it is. So I wasn't really taken aback by their reading. It didn't teach me anything new, or I didn't gain any insight. I know they were told that for your relationship you have to work very hard. Well, they do have to, because one is in the UK, one is in New Zealand, so it will take a lot of time. There is the time difference, there is the distance, there is the difference in personality, so that's going to play a big part in their relationship. So I don't know, we'll see how they play out. Next up is Tyra and Kale. They are a Cancer and an Aries, I think. And so the overthinking on Tyra's part I get, because of the fact that she let go of any connection she had with Kale because she didn't want to sort of offend her best friend. So it seems in the villa she's always done that. She's always taken a step back and sort of avoided pursuing connections with people because she didn't want to upset somebody else. So that does make sense. For Kale, I think, yeah, she's saying they could work very well as a couple. I think they could if they opened up. It seemed like apparently Tyra's sort of been holding back, and I don't know whether she was holding back because she was worried that maybe Kale is just back just to be on the show and not really serious about her, or whether I don't know, but Kale agreed with it, so I wish them all the best. That seems good. Next up is Reed and Chloe, and it's like, oh. So with Reed, I didn't know Reed is a Gemini. Oh my God, he's putting us to shame. We don't behave in that way. I'm a Gemini and I don't behave that way. I'm really ashamed for him. He said he is skeptical, so he doesn't sort of take on board what she said. But for me, I think she was a bit off, because I think Geminis, yes, we are either like or hate, but also we do think, and it's not just we just wake up and say, oh, I like you or I hate you. So I don't know. I'll take it as it is for whatever she said, but I agree with Reed. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense. Or maybe it's just because, I'm a Gemini. Hey. Next up is Sav and Clint. And Sav and Clint's reading didn't make sense to me, because they're told that, you live close. And they said, no, we don't. And she went, yeah, that's why there's going to be conflict. And it's like, where did they get this lady? Because I'm starting to agree with Zach that she's just using buzzwords, things that make people feel good. Obviously, everybody knows that if you live miles apart, there's going to be issues in a relationship, because how are you going to make it work? How are you going to keep in touch? How are you going to sort of see one another? I think speaking to each other or chatting is not a problem. I think physically seeing or being there with one another is where the problem is going to be for most of these couples. So I don't know. Lastly is Nate and Georgia, and what she sort of said made sense. The fact that Nate is sort of emotionally holding back and is very protective of himself, and to me it makes a lot of sense. Just judging by his track record in the villa, you can see why he would have his walls up, and he actually acknowledges that he has his walls up, because he stepped forward for a couple of girls on day one. They didn't pick him, and when he didn't step forward, Nakia picked him. But Nakia immediately told him that they were going to be friends, and that was it. And so then he was with Lucinda. Lucinda, we know how she treated him. He was with Tia, and Tia, I think, was the worst person he was coupled up with. And when he thought this was the end of the road for him, because Abby tried to sort of lead him on and then took a couple of steps back, Georgia came in, and we all know what happened with Georgia. And I know it took her realizing that, Trent wasn't it for her to come back home. And so, do I think Nate likes Georgia? Yes. But his rationale makes sense, in the sense that he doesn't want to sort of rush and say, oh, we're exclusive, we're this, that, and the other. He doesn't want to give her false hope. He wants to go out into society, especially given the fact that she wanted to see him every day. It makes sense that he wants to go back home, sort of try things out at home and see if they work. If they work, then fine. If they don't, at least he's protected himself from heartbreak again. That's where I think he's coming from. But it's cute to see that Georgia. One thing about Georgia is she's always been honest with Nate. I have to give her that. I know a lot of people felt some type of way about the Trent situation, but whatever was going on with Trent, she would always run back to Nate and be honest with him. So I have to give him credit for that. I think he really likes her. I think he's protecting himself, but he's deep. I think he's gone in deep for Georgia, as much as he doesn't acknowledge that. And she seems to really like him. I think if he opened up, she would fall in love with him, because I think most of the girls have been wooed by Nate. They've been wooed by Nate. He's been amazing. So the Islanders receive a text to say it's time to give back their eggs. And it's been a busy day for them. It really has, because it's constantly been go, go, go. Something new has come up. And so to see them, say goodbye and be asked to sing lullabies. Some took it seriously, some not so seriously. And also, the other thing is I found was that Nate spent most of the time with their egg. I don't know whether it's just me because I really like Nate, but I think he was more involved. I don't know about Georgia, unless they didn't show us the number of times, because we saw him at the fire pit. We saw him sort of hold the egg and sort of be the one to say goodbye and sing the lullaby and sort of give, words of encouragement. And so it was cute to see. I really liked that for them. I think he'll make a great dad. I know I'm biased. I think he will make a great dad. So it will be interesting to see him when he has his own children, how he sort of behaves. But it was cute to see, at least that all the Islanders were involved and they really put in the work, or they really worked hard to be their best selves. So I like that for them. And we'll see how it plays out. Anyway, then the Islanders got ready for the night. And what is Love Island without a romantic gesture? So you had Chloe plan a date for Reed, and the date involved them sort of sitting down with a platter. I don't know why they don't have anything else outside of these platters. I don't even know why they don't even give them a meal or something else. It's always the same thing. A platter, it's either fruit or it's either meats or whatever. So I don't know. It was cute to watch, but they could have done better. And I think Chloe's doing it for the wrong person. I think Reed should have been the one to do it for Chloe, to show her that, she really is the one for him. She is the one who's changed him and he is a better man because of her. So I think he should have been the one to plan the date, not the other way around, but that's just me. So the Islanders receive a text message that the hideaway is open for T and K. And it's so obvious that they mean Tyra and Kale. I think they didn't want anyone else to go to the villa, because normally the Islanders get to choose. So meaning that Tyra's already been to the villa, she wouldn't have been chosen. Georgia and Nate have already been, Lucinda and Zach have been, which would have left it with Chloe and Reed and Clint and Sav, which tells me that the producers actually know that those couples are not genuine. Why would they pick specifically who goes to the hideaway? The producers are not responsible for that. It's supposed to be the Islanders. Anyway, the girls help Tyra get ready. This is her second time in the hideaway. She's really been very busy, hasn't she? Because she went the first time with Ben and we all know they had sex. And this time she went with Kale, they had sex. And for me, I want an explanation from Love Island. How come we got to hear Georgia in surround sound making noises, but we didn't get to hear anything from Tyra? All we heard from Tyra was, "It feels good." Why? I don't like that. If you're going to, embarrass one couple, then do the same for another couple. The same thing, Zach and Lucinda had sex in the bedroom with everybody and they played music. Why is it we have to embarrass Georgia and Nate? I don't like that. Anyway, I'm in my feelings now. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 25. Bye guys.